All right, Bears, let's do this. We need to analyze some pie charts today to discover what is the problem with patient 23 and gut bacteria. We've learned about bacteria, we learned about gut, and we've learned about fecal transplants. So what we're going to talk about here, we're going to watch a little video on fecal transplants. But before we do that, I want you to talk about these charts. So I'm going to throw you into some rooms, breakout rooms. And if you're not in a breakout room, you can just analyze this yourself. Or if the people in your breakout room are not participating, you can do some independent learning. You don't have to have somebody to discuss this. You can think about it on your own. But if you do, I want you in your breakout room to discuss, look at this pie chart, take a look at each color. So light blue, identified it. What is that? That's bacilli, some kind of bacteria. What's the darker blue? Bacteroideaceae. Doesn't matter if you don't know how to say it. Just look at the colors and kind of see what they are. Go around the chart. Do the same with this one and just analyze what you do see differently. What do you notice about the charts? How are they the same? How are they different? The questions are here if you want to look at them. What is the same about patients' gut microbiome data from week 1 to week 3? What is different about the patient's gut microbiome data from week 1 to week 3? And when you are finished discussing with a partner, answer the questions about the patient on the next page. Now, we will do that together, so you do not have to answer the questions on the next page. Just answer those two. What's different? What's the same? Talk to your partner about it. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to discuss. Why don't we kick it off with your favorite vacation. First, talk about your favorite place you went on vacation. Each person share that, and then go around and each person share what they see different or anything they notice about the pictures of the chart. All right, let's go do that. Okay, share out some of your findings in the chat room. Let's go to the chat room. If you're not in Zoom with us, you can just write these down on your top slide. Write down one difference between these two graphs and how are they the same? So let's just stick with one difference for the chat room. Just say, how are they different? What do you see that's different between week 1 and week 3? Remember, this is week 1 and week 3. Okay, go ahead and write how you think it's different in the chat. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff, the CER. So we're going to take our information and we're going to answer this question here. Now, let's go ahead. We'll leave this slide down here for now. When we're finished with this CER, we're going to want to move it to the top. Now, you can write on this slide, but I recommend adding a slide. So let's add a slide, any slide you like. I usually like to come down here and get this semi-colored one. Easy. So what we're going to write here is, first let's look at our questions. After your discussion, record your ideas below about why you think patient 23 feels normal during week 1, but sick during week 3. So look at our chart again. Normal, sick. So what about this chart says, why do you think he's normal and feels healthy? And what about this chart? This is evidence. A chart is evidence, tells us why he feels sick. So you have to explain based on what we know about bacteria, fecal matter transplants, and why do you think he feels sick in week 3 and healthy in week 1? And you have to support that with evidence. So let's go look at our questions again. Here it is. Record your ideas below about why you think patient 23 feels normal during week 1 but sick during week 3. So if you think about it, this is 2 sentences. First you say, I think patient number 1 felt good during week 1 because, and then another sentence would be, I think he felt sick because, and then a third sentence would be the evidence, CER, the evidence to support why I think he was sick is, and then you use the chart as your evidence of why you're making these claims. So if you think about it, you're making claims. You're making a claim why he was healthy, you're making a claim why he was sick, and then you're going to support the evidence why those claims are accurate. And then if you add a little reasoning, you have a CER, and you can guess where we're going next. But first, on this slide below here, just write your two sentences. It's actually 3 sentences. You're going to write your why he felt normal, week 1. Then write a sentence why he felt sick, week 2. And you're just saying why you think he did. And then cite the evidence from the graph that supports your claim. And so you basically tell us what's different about the graph that supports your claims up here, okay? And think back to what we learned about the videos, bacteria in our stomachs, things like that. Okay, now I will give you, this should only take about, let's say 5 to 7 minutes. I'll give you 7 minutes. It takes a little time to think about sentences. So 7 minutes, do this slide. All right, so we've got our sentences here. You have 3 good sentences. Now, guess what we're going to turn this into? A CER. And guess what we're going to call this? We're going to call this a prescription for health. So a claim, a CER, claim evidence reasoning, is used in science, but it can be used to answer questions, to write letters, to write a prescription. So what you're going to do now for your final project of the week, and you can do this here, you can add another slide, you're going to write a prescription for health to this guy. So we've got guy here, patient 23. He was healthy, now he's sick. We know about fecal transplants and bacteria. We also know about antibiotics, and we also know that when you take antibiotics, that can hurt good bacteria. But if you drink yogurt and take some probiotics, you haven't learned about this yet, but you will in the video, it can help you to restore good bacteria. So based on the video we're going to watch right now, based on this, you're going to write a prescription for health. And I will explain that in the groups as well, the basic in the groups. But you're basically going to tell the patient what's wrong with him and what he needs to do to get healthy. You're going to give him your reasons why he's sick based on these sentences we already have here. You're going to tell him why he felt better before. Then you're going to tell him what you're going to do to make him healthy and maybe even explain the chart to him. You're going to refer back to the video that's going to help you with a prescription. A prescription means telling somebody how to do something for him to get healthy. So it's like you're the doctor. You can't call you a doctor because you're just student researchers. But as a student researcher, this is your recommendation on how to get his gut healthy. All right, so this is a 5 to 7 sentence prescription for health. Claim, tell us what's wrong with him. Tell him how to get healthy. Cite the evidence. You already have 2 or 3 of the sentences here. Give your little reasoning. Maybe give him a little pump-up speech like, don't worry, buddy, you're going to be fine. And then send him on his way to do what he has to do. All right, let's get started. First, let's watch the video. All right, based on the video, you saw some doctors talking. You saw the way doctors do talk, and you learned a little bit about gut health in that video and fecal transplants. So use some of that information in your essay. Now take a look here. I gave you a little outline. This we already have, right? You already had these answers here. Now if you like to keep those, you can move them down, you can put them on another slide, you can start a new slide, or you can work within the same slide. Use this information for your CER. Here's an example how you could do your CER. Start your paragraph off with telling patient what is wrong with them. Explain using the evidence from the charts. Explain to him how bacteria works. Tell him about fecal transplants to help him fix the issue. And then give him a positive message to make him feel better. So there's your 5-sentence CER. Now, obviously, your slide, when you're done, we're going to move this slide to the top, like we always do. And it'll be the first thing I see when I look at your papers or your slides tomorrow. So we'll give you some time to work on this tomorrow. We'll go over it a little bit, and then I will give you some time. But you might want to get started now. Photos, maybe moving the charts in here, finding another chart, giving a definition about fecal transplant, all things you can do on this slide of the CER prescription for health. All right, let's get started. You have the rest of the class to work.